2, 1, go.
Yeah, Cyrus says live 10:01. Unfortunately, we're waiting for our guest, Hemant Kher, famous actor, but unfortunately, we haven't been able to figure out whether he's coming on or not. He should be on. He says he's on, and it should
Yep.
happen in a few minutes. But in the meantime, Silvery and I will discuss a very important thing which I just found out. Charlize Theron has gone on record to say that all women during this lockdown period, especially mothers and sisters and daughters, should be paid extra. Mothers especially should be paid extra because of the load that they've had during lockdown, an extra allowance from the from the government side. Now I just want to point out that it's actually the men who have suffered more. Hemant is here. Hemant, hang in there for a second. We're just discussing
Yes,
a very
yes,
important
yes.
point.
Yeah, I
uh,
got that.
so I just want to point out because it's us who suffered more because I just remember during the lockdown is the first time I did the saaf safai of the house in my life, which is bad, horrible, but it became too much. It was like Shaolin Temple 36 chamber. We went from 0 to 36. It was too much. My first horrible humiliation was when I was asked by my wife to clean the toilet. वो भी ठीक है. Clean the toilet is not like you must do it. It's humility involved. But after she used the toilet, she asked me to clean the toilet, which I thought was extra between you and me, unnecessary. So I'm just saying, shouldn't the men also get extra allowance? We have not even been trained in the field of battle. साफ सफाई की सब कल्चर में हम लोग का कुछ what is our English word for it? Virginity है virginity. We were not exposed to all this, and we have risen to the occasion and gone all the way there and cleaned beyond the call of duty. So I would just like to tell Charlize Theron and other actors who are talking about motherhood and women suffering that even men have suffered and perhaps suffered worse because we were not prepared to perform in the field of looking after the house. That's all I would like to say. Now that my 14-minute rant is over, Hemant Kher, welcome to the show. How are you, sir? Sab theek? Sab
एकदम
tak?
बढ़िया.
Huh?
टकाटक टकाटक. So happy to see you in the morning.
What a show. Fraud after fraud, lie after lie.
No, 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 no. I am big fan of yours,
क्या
Cyrus.
बात है भाई क्या बात
And
है.
I was very happy when I got to know that I'm going to talk to you. So thank you so much for having me. Thank
No,
you.
no, it's our pleasure, sir. We'll start from the beginning. NSD का है ना sir जी? So you must
Yes.
be knowing Gopal Dutt, my good friend.
हाँ, मैं उसके साथ गोपाल के साथ 2.5 साल तक रहा भी हूँ.
Oh,
I know him very well, and I have
ये कोई अंदर की बात है अभी.
हाँ.
Let me just warn people we're not going in that direction at all. But what you mean is that you stayed with him in your early days.
Early days, yeah, yeah.
हाँ हाँ
I
हाँ
stayed. I shared. He allowed me to share his house.
हाँ.
Just
वहां
ऐसे
पे कट करता है वहां पे कट करता है हम लोग. We don't need to know more details. No, but people don't understand because now you become very famous, and I think that Harshad Mehta show has just as it happens with actors, one show just changes the game from whatever to wherever. I think in no other profession, because even in business it takes years, etc., for the thing to catch and all. मगर acting में literally it's one in the old days one Friday evening, yeah, now one web series, and suddenly a person's life just changes completely. So Hemant, we'll start at the top then, because I
yeah.
want to see your entire struggle, kahan se kahan tak,
हाँ.
and where you are right now. But let's start at the top, which is this Harshad Mehta scam.
Yes.
Um, uske bare mein, can you tell us a little bit how you got that role? You're playing the brother. What was it? Did you expect to get so much notice and the show to do so well?
I never expected that. When I got the show, I felt यार ये हो गया अब 16 साल बाद ना अचानक से कुछ तो मिला है. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि स्क्रिप्ट क्या है. मुझे सिर्फ इतना पता था that हंसल मेहता is directing it and it is about हर्षद मेहता और हर्षद मेहता का भाई है. So I thought यार भाई है तो कुछ तो होगा इसमें. Beggars can't be choosers. So I was like यार मिल जाए बस हंसल मेहता जी
That's
का
why you're on the
साथ.
podcast.
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you.
Sorry, kidding, यार, kidding.
No, 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 no.
तो ठीक है.
It
But
works
ये
for me.
इसमें कर्मा की बात है, because sometimes like you said, you didn't, whether you choose or not, it chose you. Let's
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I used to give a lot of auditions. I used to make things work around. I after passing out from NSD, कुछ serials किए, कुछ films किया, लेकिन nothing was working out. कहीं पे कोई इज्जत नहीं मिल रही थी. And
वो तो कभी नहीं होता सर. आप कट करो नेशनल अवार्ड विनिंग के बाद भी, because
हाँ,
इज्जत, प्लीज डोंट
हाँ.
ब्रिंग इज्जत इनटू दिस लाइफ यार. हाँ, सॉरी, गो ऑन.
सो रिकग्निशन भी नहीं कोई, मतलब अगला काम भी नहीं. तो किसी ने बोला राइटिंग करोगे तो अब थिएटर वाले तो सब कुछ कर लेते हैं. तो मैं बोला हाँ करूंगा यार, पैसे मिलेंगे. तो पैसे मिलने लगे. तो फिर मैं लिखता चला गया. फिर
एज अ राइटर.
एज अ राइटर I've written a lot of non fiction shows. I've done a lot of non-fiction shows as a creative director, act director, this director, that director, and also like a assistant director.
अच्छा
So
ये
मैं
बताओ एसोसिएट डायरेक्टर और असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर में क्या फर्क है? पीपल इवन आस्क मी
uh,
दैट लाइक एज अ वी आर सपोज्ड टू नो। आप कुछ नॉलेज है इसके बारे में?
कोई फर्क नहीं
एग्जैक्टली।
है।
आई
सिर्फ
थिंक
नाम अलग है और दो लोगों को अलग सैलरी मिलती है, वो एक अच्छी बात
अच्छा अच्छा अलग सैलरी के किस्म से। ओके दैट मेक्स सेंस
हाँ
एटलीस्ट बिकॉज़ हाउ डू यू
या
रिमेंबर अदरवाइज। हाँ
एब्सोल्युटली
बड़े बाप का बेटा ये है ना तो एसोसिएट बन गया। अच्छा ठीक है फेयर
नहीं,
इनफ।
बट जनरली एसोसिएट डायरेक्टर्स आर द पीपल हु यू नो हु शेड्यूल होल थिंग।
आई तो चमचा चेलागिरी करते हैं ना डायरेक्टर के साथ उसका एसोसिएट होता है।
नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता, वो
इतना
डीए
गंदा
होता
ह्यूमर है अपना शो पे सर यू विल वॉक आउट एंड
नो नो नो,
प्रोटेस्ट।
आई लव इट।
It will be comedy agitation at its best. Sir, I'm interrupting. I want to. I love this story of success. Firstly, आपने
हाँ,
कहा कि struggle तो बहुत था. Obviously, the when
स्ट्रगल
you were.
वगल नहीं था एक्चुअली ना, ये वर्ड ही मुझे गलत लगता है।
I'm
मैं
so sorry.
आई वाज पेड वेल
वो
इन दैट
एडोल्फ हिटलर का
मूवी।
शब्द है हाँ? Mein Kampf,
हाँ
my struggle हाँ.
हाँ, तो मैं आई वाज अर्निंग वेल, आई वाज डूइंग वेल, आई हैड अ हाउस, खाना मिलता था अच्छा,
Social
गाड़ी वाड़ी
life, Saturday
चिल
night पे
लाइफ।
dancing वांसिंग करता था तो.
हाँ, मैं डांसिंग वांसिंग तो मैं वैसे भी कर ही लेता हूँ, चाहे गाना कोई भी हो। तो वो अपने मूड पे है, गाने पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं है अपना डांस।
Fair enough हाँ.
तो सो वो सीखा बहुत,
हम्म.
लेकिन इस जो जिसको स्ट्रगल कहते हैं ना, उस दौरान मैंने राइटिंग भी बहुत किया, मैंने लोगों को एक्टिंग कोचिंग भी बहुत दिया, मैं डायरेक्शन भी करता रहा, अपने शॉर्ट फिल्म्स बनाता रहा, और मैं एक्टिंग के लिए ट्राई ऐसा, आई वाज नेवर यू नो ऐसा आउटवर्डली जाके सबको मिलके सर मुझे काम दो, वो मुझसे हो नहीं पाता था। लेकिन जो लोगों को पता था कि ये एक्टर है, वो मुझे ऑडिशंस के लिए बुलाते थे, वो मैं ईमानदारी से करता था। सो आई यूज टू गिव लॉट ऑफ ऑडिशंस। कभी मुझे रोल चूज नहीं करता था, कभी मैं रोल को चूज नहीं करता था, करते करते अचानक से 16 साल बाद ये अश्विन मेहता मिल गए, और जो मुझे आता था वो मैंने किया।
Okay. Hansal Mehta, obviously very household name. How do we say it? एक इनामदार is the right word I suppose. A guy who's got respect but not necessarily रोहित शेट्टी का जैसा following नहीं है but
हाँ,
respect बहुत है, right?
करेक्ट
Is the
करेक्ट
right way to put
करेक्ट,
it.
या
So as an actor I'm sure you were looking for these kind of directors to work with and these kind of roles that obviously will come from them.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली। मैं ऐसे ही जहाँ कुछ सोचना पड़े, जहाँ कुछ करना पड़े, जहाँ पे थोड़ा एक्सप्लोरेशन हो एज एन एक्टर, वैसे डायरेक्टर्स के साथ काम करने में। दूसरा, एक हंसल मेहता इज वेरी गुड विद एक्टर्स, द वे ही गिव्स देम फ्रीडम। मतलब ही नेवर टेल्स यू कि ऐसा करो, he would give you the script, he would read it with you a lot of time, and then he will allow you to flow. So
Yeah.
हाँ
Sorry, कौन?
हाँ, दैट प्रोसेस आई लव। मतलब वो उसमें मैं आई लव दैट प्रोसेस, तो उसमें मजा आता है।
सर इस पॉइंट पे अगर हम रुक सकते हैं 2 सेकंड, मेरा भी एक व्यू है इसमें एंड
हाँ
दैट इज आई थिंक यू एब्सोल्युटली राइट कि जिन डायरेक्टर्स एक्टर को दिखाते हैं लिटरली दिखाते हैं जैसे बंदर के जैसा कि नाच बसंती ऐसा नाच बसंती ऐसा करो, लेफ्ट लुक करो, राइट लुक करो, ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन होना चाहिए। आई गेट वेरी इरिटेटेड। व्हाई डू पीपल डू दैट स्टिल? How will Hemant Kher emote as, let's say, Hansal Mehta? It's not the same thing. You have an
एब्सोल्युटली,
idea कि ये idea है और ये scene इस तरफ जा रही है and then from there whatever happens happen. But
यस।
why do they continue till today? They continue, sir जी अभी left look और left के बाद हम अचानक आपको वो expression होना चाहिए। I'm like
हाँ
what? It's not like
हाँ,
maths
क्योंकि वो
यार।
लोग ना दे टेक दिस थिंग वेरी सीरियसली, दैट डायरेक्टर इज द कैप्टन ऑफ द शिप।
हाँ
हाँ, वो कुछ ज्यादा सीरियसली ले लेते हैं वो लोग ये करते हैं कि मेरे को सब मालूम है, मैं जैसा करवाएगा वैसे तुमको करना है। वहां पे थोड़ा एक्टर बंध जाता है मुझे लगता है। बट
हाँ
जैसा आई आई
all directors are failed actors and very angry करके दिखाना पड़ेगा।
हाँ, बट माय व्यू इज थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिकल ऑल्सो, कि यार ऐसे तो लोग हैं और ऐसे लोगों के साथ काम भी करना है। तो मैंने तुझे माफ किया, अपना दिल साफ किया, अपने को पर डे भी देखना पड़ता है ना। सो
मिडिल रास्ता। हाँ
हाँ, मिडिल
हाउ
रास्ता।
फार आर यू विलिंग टू क्रिटिसाइज द गवर्नमेंट जहां तक एंड देन यू हैव टू पुल बैक फेयर इनफ बिकॉज़ ये
हाँ
रियलिटी ऑफ लाइफ लाइफ
हाँ,
लाइफ का सिचुएशन अलग है। ऑलराइट
करेक्ट।
ओके लेट्स लीव इट फॉर अ सेकंड एवरीबॉडी नोज अबाउट दैट लेट्स गो बैक इन टाइम। हेमंत खेर born in Surat.
Yes, born in a place called Kosamba, which is close to Surat.
Okay. और
Yeah.
फिर आपका जर्नी के बारे में इन द नेक्स्ट 5 minutes कैन यू टेल मी हाउ यू रीच्ड अप टू अश्विन मेहता?
My journey started from Kosamba only. Then I got
30 सेकंड
admission.
हो गया, you have to go faster
हाँ,
than this.
I will
हाँ.
be very fast. I'll finish it in 3 minutes
नहीं 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 नहीं,
because
फिर मैं
I
क्या
will.
बोलेगा उसके बाद करके दिखाओ फिर एक्टिंग. हाँ, उसके बाद. हाँ.
तो मैं यहाँ से पढ़ाई करने के लिए एक रेसिडेंशियल स्कूल में चला गया एंड बचपन से ही आई वांटेड टू बी एन एक्टर यू नो. तीसरी क्लास में था तब देन आई डिड दिस श्रवण कुमार का एक मोनो एक्टिंग with the help of my mother when I was in third standard in a primary school, and then I got selected in a residential school, Kendriya Vidyalay. There magically when I was in 12th standard everybody was thinking about becoming a doctor, engineer, professor. I never used to tell people क्योंकि उस टाइम पे ना लोगों को लगता था कि इसका कुछ होएगा नहीं
और
ये.
हंसते थे.
हाँ
I think
बहुत
because
बहुत
एक
बहुत
5-6 साल के ड्रीम ठीक है, but when you're 15-16 it starts looking funny. हाँ.
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 So I suddenly on one day I was roaming around on my hostel का roof और अचानक से टेरेस पे मुझे रद्दी के बीच में पड़ा हुआ नेशनल स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा का वो मिल
What are
गया.
you saying? सर यही है पिक्चर. ब्यूटीफुल.
एब्सोल्युटली.
हाँ,
और
क्या
वो
सीन है.
ना जैसे मेरी छुपी हुई तमन्ना थी वैसे ही मेरे किसी टीचर की तमन्ना थी.
What are
तो
you
वो
saying?
टीचर तो था लेकिन उसकी तमन्ना नेशनल स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा जाने की थी इसलिए उसने शायद ब्रोशर मंगवाया था.
क्या
और
बात है.
हॉस्टल में क्या होता था तब सब नो इट वाज अ टाइम ऑफ पोस्ट कार्ड्स एंड लेटर्स एंड
हाँ,
एवरीथिंग.
डोंट हैव टू
तो
टेल मी सर, मैं तो उसका जनरेशन का है. हाँ.
तो वो रद्दी पूरा किसी तरीके से इट लैंडेड अपॉन आवर टेरेस एंड आई वाज गोइंग ऐसे टाइम पास करने
बाय
ऊपर
चांस.
गया
हाँ.
और वो ब्रोशर मेरे सामने आ गया. एंड दैट वाज लाइक वो होता है ना अपना फिल्मों में एनिमेशन यू गो जूम इन इनसाइड इनसाइड इनसाइड. आई वेंट जूम इन इनसाइड 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 एंड आई फेल्ट दैट आई एम हियर. ये दिस इज माय प्लेस.
What are you
एंड
saying यार, ये फेरी टेल का जैसा है. हाँ.
हाँ एंड देन वहां से मुझे लगा कि अब तो मुझे यही करना है. फिर घर में फाइट शुरू हुए. पापा वाज लाइक कि तुमको तो एक ग्रेजुएशन करना पड़ेगा
बट
वो तो
ऑप्शंस क्या था फॉर यंग हेमंत खेर? ऑप्शन क्या था अगर आप एक्टिंग नहीं किया तो और क्या
तो
करता
मेरे
था?
पास आई वाज गुड एट स्टडीज तो मेरा ऑप्शन
Okay.
था या तो इंजीनियरिंग या
The
तो
usual middle class dream, engineering,
हाँ
डॉक्टर, लॉ, जो भी.
करेक्ट.
हाँ हाँ,
तो
कॉर्पोरेट लाइन में
मेरा
फंस गया.
तो मेरा ये 12th स्टैंडर्ड में बिगिनिंग ऑफ द 12th स्टैंडर्ड ये ब्रोशर मुझे मिला और मेरा साइकोलॉजी चेंज. फिर मैं पढ़ने में धीरे धीरे वीक होता गया और फिर जब मैं पास हुआ तो आई हैड वेरी एवरेज मार्क्स मतलब 60%.
तो इसका मतलब है कोई बैड इन्फ्लुएंस आ गया आपके सोच विचार में.
नहीं मेरा ड्रीम वो हो गया कि मुझे तो अब ये
तो
करना है.
फोकस वेंट ऑफ.
फोकस वेंट ऑफ
हाँ.
बट फॉर गुड. तो मुझे फिर बीएससी
अब लगता है फॉर गुड. इमेजिन पेरेंट्स और नियर बाय सपोर्ट ग्रुप जो है सोचते हैं
हाँ
कि एक फर्स्ट 12 इयर्स द बॉय हैज क्रैक्ड द सिस्टम और उसके बाद पता नहीं क्या हुआ, एक रड्डी में एक कागज पड़ा और उसके बाद ही इज गॉन बिजर्क. हाँ.
करेक्ट. then I had to do BSc chemistry और BSc chemistry पूरा मैंने
Ow!
because my father wanted me to
सर
do.
मैं इंटरप्ट कर सकता हूं इसमें because we
Please.
must tell the country even though hardly anyone is listening to us that this BSc is not a great degree.
Absolutely.
बहुत पेरेंट्स सोचते हैं कि BSc करो क्योंकि साइंस के अटैचमेंट और छाप है उस पे. लेट मी टेल यू देयर इज नो वर्क कमिंग आउट ऑफ इट. उसके बाद अगर आप 10-12 साल और पढ़ाई करते 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 फिर आप डॉक्टर और डबल PhD पहुंचते, उसके बाद बाय चांस आपको शायद हो सकता है आप कुछ पैसा कमाएगा और नाम कमाएगा. बट आई थिंक ऑनेस्टली BSc, आई नो सो मेनी पीपल दे हैव नो वर्क. इसका कुछ मतलब नहीं है. कॉल द गवर्नमेंट नाउ सर. बेटर टू डू अ ड्रामा डिग्री ऑनेस्टली.
Absolutely. I wanted to go for the drama degree, but my parents and family और तब तो
नो
those were
चांस.
not the time की जिसमें पॉडकास्ट होते थे और लोगों से हमको लगता था ऐसे ही कि हमको कोई मिल रहा है मतलब बात हो रही है हमसे.
अगर हाउ सैड अगर बाय चांस अगर आपके जो लवली पेरेंट्स ने मेरे फेस को देखा टीवी पे
हाँ.
फिर आई थिंक दैट वुड एंटर देयर आइडिया इन द माइंड कि अगर इतना घेरा वाला इंसान को काम मिलता है टीवी पे तो मेरा बेटा विल गो स्ट्रेट टू द टॉप यार.
No,
How
no,
sad.
that's you are being humble
हाँ.
in a funny way.
हाँ.
But
I'm not arguing. हाँ.
so फिर बीएससी किया लेकिन बीएससी पूरा मैंने किया कैंटीन और थिएटर में ही मतलब अपना ऑडिटोरियम में ही था रहता था मैं. और
क्या
मैं
बात है.
हाँ
सच में.
आई यूज्ड टू गेट लॉट ऑफ ट्रॉफीज फॉर द कॉलेज. मैं बहुत ड्रामा कंपटीशन मोनो एक्टिंग कंपटीशन जीत के लाता था. तो मेरा प्रैक्टिकल में भी ना वो पीपीटी निकालना होता है बीएससी में. वो मेरे से कभी हुआ नहीं. तो हमारा लैब असिस्टेंट बोला एग्जामिनर को इसको पास करो, इसको बस डिग्री चाहिए, इसको एक्टिंग करना है. So I somehow got pass, और फिर 2 ट्रायल के बाद I got into NSD. उससे
पर
पहले
आप एक एक second, उसके पहले पेरेंट्स की सोच में कुछ परिवर्तन हुआ? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली
नहीं नहीं,
विनिंग साइड में ये सब साइड बिजनेस चालू हो गया, सब कल्चरल, नो नथिंग, नो चेंज.
no change, no change. I when I got into NSD, Times of India Baroda took my interview, so I knew that I have to say particular things so that my father get convinced. So
जैसा?
I, जैसे मैंने बोला, after completing NSD I am going to be the professor, I will teach drama. So
So you are
he,
getting a teaching degree actually. अच्छा अच्छा.
yeah, so
Sharp guy यार, very sharp guy. Fear of parents bring out the best creativity. हाँ
actually you have to get done a 72,000 rupees का solvency certificate.
हाँ.
वो आपके आपके पेरेंट्स को बना के देना पड़ता है, नहीं तो एनएसडी में एडमिशन नहीं मिलता है.
क्या
सो
बात है.
हाँ, सो मुझे उनकी जरूरत थी कि वो सर्टिफिकेट आई विल हैव टू गेट. सो आई टुक दिस रूट एंड देन आई वेंट टू एनएसडी. फिर एनएसडी में तो यू नो हाउ इट इज, यू गोपाल तिवारी मस्ट हैव टोल्ड यू ऑल द स्टोरीज ऑफ एनएसडी.
हाँ.
इट्स मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल 3 years
He
of your life.
never tells the girls names.
या
घटना तो है मगर नेम्स,
नाम
पर्टिकुलर
नहीं,
डिटेल्स वो तो नहीं देते.
नहीं
जस्ट
देता.
दस गोपाल स्माइल इज देयर बस.
या
बट
अरे राजा वो नहीं.
यस.
सो देन एनएसडी के बाद आई, पहले एनएसडी में मेरे को एफटीआई मालूम होता तो शायद मैं एफटीआई जाता, बिकॉज आई ऑलवेज ड्रीम्ड
फिल्म.
अबाउट बीइंग इन फिल्म्स.
हाँ.
सो मैं एनएसडी खत्म हुआ, नेक्स्ट डे आई टुक द ट्रेन टू मुंबई. मुंबई आ गया मैं, और मैंने वही फोटो 5 छपवा के पीछे सेट वो लिख के नंबर वंबर लिख के घूमना थोड़ा बहुत शुरू किया, लेकिन वो इतना ह्यूमिलिएटिंग लगा ना मेरे को, तो मैं ज्यादा नहीं कर पाया. तो अभी भी मेरे
ह्यूमिलेटिंग,
पास,
ह्यूमिलेटिंग मतलब आप दरवाजे के एंट्री भी नहीं मिलता था तब?
हाँ, एंट्री भी नहीं मिलता था. अरे चलो जाओ अभी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है टाइप्स की बातें. कभी कभी लोग ऑडिशन पे बुला के ऑडिशन कैंसिल कर देते थे. तो ऐसी चीजें भी हुई है कि हाँ हाँ तुम पहुंचो 12 बजे और वो आया ही नहीं आदमी. तो ऐसी चीजें हुई. कहीं पे बोला कि ये तुम्हारे चेहरे पे तो एक भी लाइन नहीं है, तुम कैसे एक्टर बन सकते हो, मतलब
इसका
तुम्हारे
क्या
चेहरे,
मतलब है?
मतलब योर फेस शुड बी लाइक अल पचिनो, ऐसा. दैट्स व्हाट दे वांटेड टू, आई थिंक.
मेरे पास लाइंस भी है नहीं.
हाँ, हमारे पास नहीं है, फिर भी हम बन
तो
गए.
पेंसिल के साथ डाल सकते.
तो वो मेरे से ज्यादा सहन हुआ नहीं. फिर भी मुझे कुछ सीरियल्स मिले, एक आध फिल्म मिली है. जब फिल्म मिली ना, दैट वाज अनदर फनी किस्सा, कि फिल्म मिली और जब फिल्म के शूटिंग के दिन ही मुझे लगने लगा दैट आई हैव अराइव्ड. तब मुझे पता नहीं था कि फिल्म बनने के बाद, शूट होने के बाद वो एडिट भी होती है, उसके बाद लोग उसको जज भी करते हैं. और वो इतनी बुरी हुई फिल्म कि मैं क्या बताऊं, मतलब फ्रॉम
पर
स्काई.
आपके रोल?
मेरा रोल वाज देयर, आई वाज प्लेइंग वन ऑफ द लीड रोल,
हाँ.
बट द फिल्म डिडंट वर्क. मतलब बहुत ही बुरी तरह, इट वाज शॉट वेरी बैडली, इट वाज
पर
बाकी
आपका
सब
परफॉर्मेंस एटलीस्ट लोग को अच्छे लगे यार,
पहुंची ही नहीं ना
फीडबैक
लोगों तक फिल्म.
मतलब?
मतलब द फिल्म डिडंट रीच टू पीपल, इट केम जस्ट
अच्छा, एक
लाइक,
दिन में बंद हो गया दैट टाइप?
हाँ दैट टाइप. तो आई क्रैश्ड. और फिर कोई काम नहीं, और अचानक से मुझे ये शो लिखने का काम, शाबाश इंडिया नाम का एक शो था जी टीवी का.
हाँ.
तो मुझे वहां बुलाया था ऑडिशन के लिए, बट आई गॉट लेट बिकॉज आई वाज टेकिंग वर्कशॉप समवेयर. तो फिर फॉलो अप के तौर पे आई जस्ट कॉल्ड देम एंड दे वर लाइक, कुछ और आता है तुमको? मैंने बोला लिखना आता है. आई जस्ट थ्रू इट आउट. थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर एक आध दो प्ले, कविता वविता जो घर में अपन लिखते चुपचाप, वो लिखा था मैंने. और ड्रामा का समझ तो था ही. तो मैंने बोला लिखना आता है, बोला 5 सैंपल स्क्रिप्ट लिखना पड़ेगा. इमेजिन 5 सैंपल स्क्रिप्ट.
वाओ.
सो आई रोट 5 सैंपल स्क्रिप्ट बिकॉज आई वाज एम्प्टी, मनी नहीं था. तो उन्होंने बोला 3,000 रुपया मिलेगा तुमको. मैंने बोला वेरी गुड, एक स्क्रिप्ट
नहीं,
का.
3,000 सिर्फ ये ट्रायल के लिए या 3,000 गोइंग
नहीं,
फॉरवर्ड?
3,000 एक्चुअल पेमेंट ऑफ 1 एपिसोड का
वो
स्क्रिप्ट.
मेरे से भी कम पैसा है.
हाँ,
शर्म की बात है भाई.
पर मेरे लिए बहुत ज्यादा था उस टाइम
तब
पे.
तब तब
हाँ,
हाँ. पर्सपेक्टिव.
कुछ
हाँ.
से कुछ, समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग. तो
फेयर
आई
इनफ.
टुक इट अप. और वो शो ना हफ्ते के 5 दिन था. तो मेरे पास मतलब महीने के 60-70 हजार रुपए वॉज टू मच इन 2007, 8, 6 आई थिंक, 5, 6. और फिर देन आई, बिकॉज आई वाज गुड, आई केप्ट ऑन गेटिंग bigger shows. Then I wrote all
एज
the
राइटर.
shows as writer, as creative director, as act director. So money was coming in, I was happy, गाड़ी खरीद रहा था, घर बना रहा था, फार्म हाउस बना रहा था.
तो कमाने का व्हीकल शुरू हो गया, मगर
हाँ,
आपका नाम कमाने का व्हीकल इन टर्म्स ऑफ इन फ्रंट ऑफ कैमरा हैड नॉट हैपेंड.
एब्सोल्युटली. तो वो ना, वो मन में ना ऐसे कचोटता था, ऐसा ऐसा लगता था कि यार ये क्या कर रहा है, तू ये करने के लिए नहीं बना है. साइमल्टेनियसली आई वाज राइटिंग माय फिल्म स्क्रिप्ट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. तो मुझे व्हाट अट्रैक्टिंग मी इज फिल्म्स, एक्टिंग इन फिल्म्स स्टोरीज. एंड बिकॉज हमारा ओरिएंटेशन भी वर्ल्ड सिनेमा का है, वी लुक एट फिल्म्स फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. वो सब करते करते देन 2016 आई वाज लाइक, नहीं, अब मैं चाहे जेब खाली है, पैसा नहीं बचाया है, दरवाजा बंद करूंगा, भूखे मरूंगा, कुछ भी करूंगा. आई बॉट सम कैमरास एंड लाइट्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. और मैंने सोचा नॉन एक्टर्स के साथ जाके मैं फीचर फिल्म ही बनाऊंगा.
बट मोस्टली नॉन एक्टर्स ही है
हाँ.
सोच पे.
लेकिन वो पैसे मांगते हैं ना, मैं
करेक्ट.
वैसे
नॉन एक्टर्स हु डिमांड मनी अलग है और नॉन एक्टर्स हु डोंट डिमांड मनी अलग है. यस यस
Correct.
यस.
So I was looking for non-actors who doesn't demand money.
हाँ सही बात है.
Instead they give कि अरे यार फिल्म में
ये तो तीसरा रास्ता निकल गया इसमें. नॉन एक्टर्स हु डोंट डिमांड मनी बट पुट मनी ऑन टेबल. क्या
हाँ,
बात है.
कि यार
वाओ.
फिल्म में ले लो, ये लो 10,000 रुपए टाइप्स होता है ना.
मेरा बेटा को लॉन्च करो 1 लाख.
So लेकिन तभी what happened is I got a call for a film to be a coach on a film. Because I was training celebrities and
हाँ, हाँ.
bachchas and all, so people used to know that he is the one
और
who
आपका
can.
सरनेम भी खैर है और उसका
हाँ.
सर जी के पास बड़ा बड़ा पाठशाला है एक्टिंग की. तो आई सपोज खैर उसका ही होगा. चलो आ
But
जा.
I hope उस connects की वजह से नहीं मिला है मुझे.
Okay, let's not get politics into it यार. We are talking creative. I share talent. हाँ.
तो so I got this offer and I was excited कि यार फिल्म पे काम करने को मिल रहा है, अपने को भी फिल्म बनानी है एक दिन. तो so then I jumped into it. I was coach on this film called Mitro. Then another film was Notebook. Then another.
Is it to do with the Prime Minister?
No. It's different. This
वो कॉपीराइट है पीएम के
हाँ
पास.
हाँ correct. लेकिन
ओपनिंग लाइन. हाँ
हाँ वो they took that name just to give that identity, that
हाँ
fame to the film, but
हाँ
it didn't work out
हाँ.
unfortunately. उसके बाद 1 2 3 4 फिल्में मैंने कर ली as a coach. And by this process was happening, I was auditioned for जो parallel सब auditions देते रहता था, उसमें से एक audition was this अश्विन मेहता, और वो मिल गया. उसके बाद you know rest is the history. फिर शो बना, it took 7 months.
But sorry to interrupt, but a great point is, man, I think always you should keep coming back to it, that you were doing really well. It's not like you're not doing well, but your acting ka jo kida hai na, that was not being
हाँ
satisfied at all.
absolutely.
Now, hopefully, you've reached a point where you will
Acting
now
and filmmaking, you know, I'm
filmmaking. हाँ.
yeah, so I always wanted to make films, tell stories, act in it, or make others act in it. वो करने का मौका नहीं मिल रहा था, नाम नहीं बन रहा था. दाम तो मिल रहा था पर
So,
नाम कहीं नहीं था.
so paisa without creative satisfaction, and now paisa with paisa can go to hell. You want creative satisfaction because now you've reached a
Absolutely.
point where fair enough. So don't
Yeah.
worry, sir. मेरे पास भी I live in Malvar Hill. सब लोग
हाँ
अमीर है यहाँ पे. Everybody
हाँ,
wants to launch their kid. तो पैसा
let's
तो
do
आएगा
that
टेबल पे.
यार,
हाँ
let's do that.
हाँ. Just put one guy, give him 2 dialogues, say he's the star, हो जाएगा. How do you think I launched Gopal on week that wasn't यार पहला? अच्छा सर.
I hope I was as good as Gopal when it comes to PR.
Gopal, yeah, that's true. अच्छा, ये तो slightly critical बात है. I have to take this link and show it to him later.
He knows
Yeah.
me. I always
हाँ.
do this to him.
Gopal is a बनिया भाई. Gopal
He
is so interested in more work and more work. मैं बोलता गोपाल तुझे को क्या हुआ? इतना
हाँ
बदलाव हो गया गोपाल के this thing character में. In the beginning he used to be like I don't care whatever जो भी है plays no money left of center artist. अब तो बिल्कुल capitalist हो गया.
बिल्कुल.
They just Gopal Dutt, they say Gopal जी कुछ acting जो ठीक है पैसा sir 50,000 per okay. And then later he finds out he has to wear no clothes and dance from a tree or whatever. बाद में. Anyway, listen, we will take a quick break. Yeah, Hemant.
Yeah.
A few seconds, we will come back. I'll bring Silvery, हमारा जो producer है, youngster है. He
Okay.
wants to be an actor also. He can ask you some questions. So we'll talk a
Sure.
little bit about जो current affairs and AMAs in the second half. Hemant
What is
Kher is with
AMS?
us. Yeah, ask me anything. It
Oh,
sounds
lovely.
grand, yeah. It sounds grand.
Yeah. AMS it's great. It's like BGM. It sounds something cool.
I love all
It's
these
just
words.
background music.
Confidence के साथ बोलना पड़ेगा and then people just accept it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mitro, after the break. Okay, break is over. We'll call in Silvery. Silvery, आजा
Hello,
बेटा.
hi.
Hi,
Good morning,
Silvery.
everyone.
Uh,
Hi, Hemant.
सही नाम है अंतरिक्ष. Long story.
Antariksh Thakkar.
हाँ.
Yes, correct.
Not
Why
Thakkar.
do people
It's
call you
Punjabi.
Silvery?
It's
long
H नहीं
story,
है
so
उसमें. It's Thakkar.
Oh,
हाँ.
Takkar.
Yeah, like it
Sorry,
rhymes
sorry.
with fucker. In case you forget.
yeah, correct.
हिंदी में for a कर.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get to the topics. Munawar Faruqui, his bail,
Denied.
comedian Munawar Faruqui, his bail got denied twice now.
Hmm.
About 2 days back, his bail hearing had just happened, and the Supreme Court at the time said that such people should not be spared. And what's wrong? Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but they said that what's wrong with you people where you want to take advantage of someone's religious beliefs and sentiments.
Yeah, see, if you take devil's advocate side, Hemant, I'll start off here. Devil's
Yes.
advocate, if you take the other side, in India, it's very dangerous in any case. I mean, I can't even make Parsi jokes in public. I'll tell you stories about how Parsi, supposed to be flexible community and all, getting upset and offended. I mean, you
Yeah.
try with Sikhs, you try with Muslims, Hindus, upper class, lower class, you try. Public में it's from a logical practical point of view. I'm not talking a moral point of view कि सही क्या है, because free expression तो अलग बात है. Free expression का मतलब है free expression, right? So that is one way, but the truth is there we live in a country like this. So my worry is that वो एक बात है. Second, वो hypocritical standards भी है, because we have sitting chief ministers, we have sitting leaders, we have sitting people जिसने क्या क्या अपने speeches में क्या, I mean, I can't even get into the words that have been used: anti-national, anti-communal, anti-this, anti-that, anti-sexist, but nothing happens to them. That's the second part of the argument. छोटे मोटे comedian या artist को पकड़ सकते हैं, and you can make a big deal out of it. So both these problems are there at the moment, and we will now turn to Hemant, who will give you a more wise answer. Hemant ji.
Yeah. I feel the same. You said what I was thinking about. There is this. Everybody knows that why is it happening, and who is doing it, and why they are doing it. We know that, and the sad part is, the place where we look for justice is, वहाँ पे भी थोड़ा सा you see, I mean, you get this idea that they are inclined to particular kind of thought process. उससे थोड़ा सा अगर देश बच जाए तो अपने को थोड़ा, rightly said that freedom of speech is freedom of speech. The constitution has given you that. और इतना जितना सेंटिमेंटल होने का शो होता है उतना लोग होते नहीं है एक्चुअली, एंड द स्मॉलर इश्यूज आर मेड बिगर, एंड या
तो ये सिंसियर रिएक्शन नहीं होते, आपको कहने का मतलब है ये सिंसियर ऑफेंस है या नहीं है? व्हाट इज सिंसियर ऑफेंस? सिंसियर ऑफेंस के यार आई डोंट नो, आई गेट ऑफेंडेड अगर आप मेरे डॉगी को डिसरिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल, बट आई हैव नो इंटरेस्ट इन रिलीजन, तो इट डजंट अफेक्ट मी दैट मच इफ समवन सेज समथिंग अबाउट वेयर आई माय बैकग्राउंड. तो ये सब रिलेटिव चीज है ना. हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू डिसाइड?
हाँ, मतलब यू आर राइट, यू कांट डिसाइड इट, बट actually people are getting offended, or somebody's portraying that people are getting offended. Two different things, no? Yeah. So somebody is portraying that people are getting offended. बाकी जोक सुना भी नहीं है जो ऑफेंड हुआ है उसने.
Do you guys think that this is a time when artists should be afraid a bit? Should there be fear?
Absolutely. This is the time I feel so, because you, being an artist, you show a mirror to the good or bad, but to the society. And right now we are afraid of holding the mirror. Absolutely, you can't.
Exactly. Or coming back to this particular case, ये बंदा Munawar has now UP police are saying we want to take him in. So they made it a symbolic thing. मतलब he's just a small comedian in the, I think, English Hindi space of Mumbai, frankly. And with due respect to him, he's done very well in that world. But he's not Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, he's where he is. And now you're taking him somewhere, और अब एक symbol attached किया उस पे या छाप attached किया उस पे कि he has to be the one to be taught the lesson for the rest to follow the line. This is the point that is coming through, because MP say UP और वो भी jail. I mean, it's the crime is bad jokes if you don't like his jokes. Maybe offending his sentiment. See, offending sentiment, I think you want to go with it, you go with it, but the penalty cannot be so much, yaar.
Yeah, absolutely.
अगर नौकरी कैंसिल हो गई तो काफी है, अगर पैसा नहीं मिला तो काफी है, अगर पेनल्टी लगवा दिया उसपे तो काफी है. Why do you need to go to 6 months jail or 1 year jail? Because then it's really not fair about what is happening in India or anywhere in the
Yeah.
world. जहाँ पे लोग, people are hitting, killing, looting. Look at it from perspective, it makes no sense.
Yesterday was Munawar's birthday, and
Yeah,
yesterday was the
28th.
yesterday the court announced that he's not getting bail. Just sad.
Yeah, and like you said, Silvery, what does it say to the comedians who are the next generation, who are more edgy than us and have more
Yeah.
guts than us and all? You're just telling them either you'll have to go into Dubai or Poland or whatever and do your stand-up comedy for wahan se, or
Nahi to don't be edgy.
no,
Just
go back
don't be
to
edgy.
don't be
Yeah.
edgy, or go
Yeah.
back to engineering.
Yeah.
The guys are broken. वो बाहर आके, I mean, the whole idea is they've taken the courage to take, like what Hemant has done. Hemant is also exactly from the same area. He said no to a middle class lifestyle, took a chance, went on in life to become an actor, writer, entertainer. Luckily for him, अभी तक तो कुछ ऐसा कुछ मामला नहीं है ना सर?
नहीं, अभी तक तो कुछ
अभी
नहीं
तक तो नहीं है.
नहीं,
You must have at least one in your lifetime. हाँ.
है. Let's see.
Yeah. So next web series.
And no protection.
Yeah.
One man's gali, other man's compliment. You should come up with some series like that. हाँ? तू मेरे को चूतिया बोला, I like it. Thanks, Baba. I feel like a common man. Yes, yes.
There is an AMA question related to this.
हाँ,
Comes
बोलो.
in from Hyperbole. He says, why is there even a statutory message or a disclaimer on a movie that this is a work of fiction, if in the end all it takes is one person to get offended anyway?
Yeah, that's two things. They can get sued. So, Mr. Hyperbole, first you have to remember, I think it's I'm 1 year LLB. The reason mostly we put disclaimers for legal and financial issue. We don't want that problem. I think because you can just get sued completely when you say that this happened and that happened in the whatever, and the person denies it. So I think it's
people still get offended, no? Like you can still file an FIR.
the offense part is second. Offense is intangible product. How can we control that?
Okay.
So I don't know. I think in India we'll have to start. Stand-up comedians should do it. Pehla stand-up comedian, at least the big comedian, uske aane ke pehle, supposing Silvery, you're the big comedian and I'm the junior guy, I should only come and say that Silvery will now come and uska jo soch hai or style hai, please don't take it seriously because he's not well and we apologize. All that should be the 15 minutes of that montage. Then we cut to you coming and performing, because
You are going to
this is no longer like a joke. This is like really what we have to do. So
yeah.
I was
And
telling you
you are
that day,
still, and after that also there are people who would be offended, and
of course.
they would not take that seriously, and the same thing would happen because it is all been,
Sir, मैं एक बात बताऊं इसके बारे में. Sorry to interrupt. You have to look at it from geography point of view, यार. अगर हम 3-4 लोग दारू पीते, for example, 3-4 of us, we make jokes about one community for whatever reason. It's not necessarily malicious.
Yes.
In that small group, it's us just expressing ourselves, that thought and momentum of the conversation, us taraf gaya, and with that we continued and we said something. It doesn't mean we hate that community really from the bottom of our hearts, or we hate that person we're talking about. But once a mobile phone has picked it up and it goes online, then we are finished.
Yeah.
But you have to judge from perspective, because we've all said stupid things here. I want to know which guy out of all of us has not made sexual comments about women. If there's one person alive, please give him the Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan, and Padma herself. Give all, as far as I'm concerned. It's rubbish. This political correctness also is rubbish, yaar. Kitna jhut bolega hum log? When we are guys together, the things we have said, it's not necessary, but it doesn't mean that we want to kill someone. When you say, I hate that guy, the truth, doesn't mean you want him to die. You'll feel really bad next day if he got hit by a car. So I think we should also understand political correctness का कुछ limit होना चाहिए, privacy भी होना चाहिए, and everything should be depending on the room. A room of comedians with the people paying money to watch it, they should be allowed to do whatever they want in that room. अब video uplink करते हैं, then I mean it's not fair, because somewhere in his native village, if somebody is taking offense, it's not connected to that moment, yaar.
Absolutely.
Market अलग है.
Yeah, like for the longest time, there used to be they used to call stand-up comedy the last bastion of free speech, which absolutely it is not right now.
It is
somehow
not.
needs to go back to that.
It is in many countries, but
it is in different countries, not in India right now. Yeah.
It still is. He's struggling. He's fighting, but others are standing up. Oh, I think that famous example of Soviet Union we have हमारे पास, where Soviet Union writers during the Iron Curtain wrote all that. That's why satire, what he was talking about, how to get innovative and all that under pressure. They are able to deliver the message, hopefully without getting, being so obvious about it. And you still fight against oppression of any kind in your own way. So you'll just breed better creativity, actually, if you want to look at it positively. What do you say, Hemant?
I say the same thing.
Ah,
I would like to say whenever artists are being oppressed anywhere in the world, they have always come up with great art. So and it will definitely going to find another way, and people are not going to stop. They are going to evolve. Nothing is going to last forever. No propaganda, nothing. The Hitler couldn't last forever.
correct.
So nobody is going to last forever, and there would be a better way of doing it for sure. As much as I understand the artistic thought process, we will, and the generation Y or Z, whatever you call them, they would come up with the way
See
किसी
the
के
lack of respect. Go, go, go.
ग्रैंडफादर ने भी नहीं सोचा है वैसा रास्ता वो लोग निकालेंगे,
Yeah.
and that will happen definitely.
सर आपका
Yeah.
तरीका बिल्कुल सही है. आई ऑल्सो लाइक टू से द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन दिस जी बी जो भी है who cares because उसका कुछ अंत नहीं है. It's the next generation. उसके बाद Z minus. Who the hell? I mean, yeah, really.
Who is deciding? I mean, who
I
is
don't know.
writing this?
And what they're doing is putting us up one every time, यार. अभी तो चार
Absolutely.
पांच नीचे गए हैं, हम लोग चार पांच ऊपर गए. It's not fair. Yeah. Let's get
Yeah.
back to a more serious conversation about sexual
Yes.
banter and what have you said about women in public. Please confess right now, and we'll have it on record.
No, no, I
Hemant
never
is
say.
doing his hair.
No, no.
हाँ आप कभी नहीं.
नहीं, कभी नहीं, कभी नहीं. I still remember that the first line of our pledge, na, every Indian is my brothers and sisters.
हाँ
Yeah.
वो confusing है. You're right. This is what a beautiful moment you have brought up, Hemant. If we accept it as the opening line that all Indians are my brothers and sisters, so we have to have the relations with outside women.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we are
We
committing
have to
incest.
go international, yeah.
We have to go international. We have to get a visa and a government sponsorship to go to, let's say, Istanbul, yeah, Hungary or something like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is by law.
Why did you choose Istanbul?
Um, सच बताओ, I'll tell you why. I have a theory, best looking women of the world, and now please, this is not sexist, this is my theory. थोड़ा travel करने के बाद, are from that area between
Yeah.
Lebanon and Turkey. That little area, they were so beautiful. I can't tell you, yaar, Hemant.
Yeah.
It was like I had died. But of course,
I heard your thought actually. Actually, I got
इतनी गंदी thought, it reached you. Toing.
as soon as Istanbul came in.
बेचारा बेटा, तेरे को क्या मालूम है? हाँ, लगेगा. Yeah, his time will come. His time will come. He
Yeah.
probably won't return after some stand-up goes wrong. You're straight to Istanbul. That's also run by a Erdogan is no,
Yeah.
Democrat. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, listen. Can we do last question? Hemant has to
Yes.
get ready for makeup and
Yeah.
his next role.
I'll just read a
Yes.
couple of comments also before that.
Anji.
Rajesh Mehta says Hemant is positivity personified. Great.
Oh, love.
Thanks so much, Rajesh. And there was also one more.
Yeah, that's true. Hemant never said anything negative about his life, which is lovely to hear. By the way, if you were listening to the podcast, Silvery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
He never,
didn't have a.
yeah, except for the initial auditions, which he never said with any bitterness. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is. But
It
I
is
think
the
that,
way it is. You
is
have to
that
find a way.
is that how people get successful? Those who are able to not get depressed when things go wrong
No,
and
I
don't carry
get
baggage.
depressed. Sometimes I get depressed, but I have found a way to pull myself up. I look at it from the whenever I feel like depressed, like people talk a lot about this apna nepotism. Yeah, it is there, and what you are going to do about it? मतलब मैं
Correct.
डेविड धवन को मना कर दूं कि वरुण धवन के लिए पिक्चर मत बना.
Exactly, not even his fault, yaar.
It's not
अगर-
his fault.
Of course.
He's born there and he has to work hard. And
Why will you not help your son?
yeah,
I mean,
so I don't take it negatively. I always feel that the nepotism will help my son.
what I would have done is go to David Dhawan and say, Papa, yaad hai, and then see the reaction.
Yeah.
Nahin? Too
Yeah.
much?
Too much.
Yeah, God.
So yeah, so there is no point in taking. I do get depressed. मुझे भी कभी-कभी लगता है कि साला काम नहीं आ रहा, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. All the practical struggles are going around, but then there is always another way of thinking about it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Great double. Let's half
yeah, yeah.
fast. Silvery, ek aur 39.
Okay.
Chalo. हाँ.
Sorry. This last comment though, and then question. Damodar Patel says, Hemant sir, you were awesome in Scam 992. Keep rocking, sir. Big fan.
Thank you so much, Damodar sir.
I think now he's bored of listening to तारीफ पे तारीफ. He wants to
हाँ,
move on.
काम दो.
अगर तो lock हो
Yeah,
जाते हैं
yeah.
उसमें ना, एक ही जगह पे lock हो जाते हैं फिर.
नहीं,
They
now
won't
I'm
let-
waiting for the messages which are like, we have wrote this role for you.
Oh,
we
those
are
kind of messages.
shooting from this day.
हाँ.
And yeah, so that is what I'm waiting for now. Yeah,
हो जाएगा, don't worry.
हो जाएगा, inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is related to acting and movies.
Yeah.
Comes in from Manozar. He says, as Cyrus, your next movie is with Abbas Mastan, and I'm guessing you were offered the role of a Parsi dude. Is that correct, Cyrus?
No, I think after the initial reading, we took out the khanna from the surname and kept his name as Monty because my dialect and pronunciation is itna ajeeb hai that after some time they couldn't decide. It goes from north, south, east to west, and from different parts of Mumbai. But it was a great experience. I love those guys. I got to tell
Okay.
you,
So
really
Manozar,
pleasant experience. Huh?
okay. So Manozar says, how often are you guys typecasted? Same goes for Hemant. So how often are you typecasted, or does that happen?
A lot. I was offered so many bade bhaiya ka role after
Hmm.
Scam got released, and I
God.
had to say
Oh
a lot of
God.
I had to say no to lot of them. एक शांत बड़ा भैया है जो कि अपने भाई को
I
लेकर
don't.
बहुत सपोर्टिव है. It happened a lot, but finally I got something which is very different from Ashwin Mehta, and I had to take that.
This is why the Americans have it a little better ना हेमंत. अगर
Yeah,
वो
yeah,
सुपर हीरो का काम करते 2-3 फिल्म के बाद तो बंद हो जाते because
हाँ,
they need to move on. Otherwise, they can't be
absolutely,
Spider-Man forever, can't be Superman forever, can't play
yeah,
this one character who's a villain 3 times in a row. They just
yeah,
kill it before
yeah,
it
yeah.
becomes unbelievable for the audience to see it. In India, once a guy is successful, we demand it. कि sir वही करना पड़ेगा. But this is a comedy. No, but you must cry. It's like no.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
absolutely. They want you to do the same thing. We will never have this
no.
privilege to retire from acting like Daniel Day-Lewis, because
Yes.
you can do that in America, you can't do it in India. You
Uh,
have to keep playing Papa, Bhaiya,
or you
which,
play that for money so you can play other good roles for non-money.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
But मेरा कहने का मतलब है इसमें कि the market is to blame also. It's not from the artist side as much from the side of the people watching that they've done this
And
for मेरा generation से and before. You know, Amitabh Bachchan, Angry Young Man, we'll keep him there for 15 years.
no, but those who are making has to understand that, whatever you are going to show, people are going to watch that.
Yeah,
So I think the blame should
the
go
courage
on
to
the,
change. हाँ,
yeah, on the creators. They need to,
गोपाल ने ऐसा ही किया. सेल आउट तो
हाँ,
हो गया भी गोपाल यार. मैंने कहा ना एड में तो पूछता भी नहीं रोल के बारे में.
हाँ, correct.
Even if it's like where he is murdering children, he'll first take see what the money is and then go. Gopal, when are you going to change? No, we're just kidding. Gopal is lovely. Bolo sir, हम लोग को जाना है. You have 2 minutes left. Do you have a last question?
Yes, sure. This one is a very fun question. Comes in from Vivek Barthwal. He says, which Hindi movie in the past decade is your comfort movie, and why so?
I'm 80s like Naseeb, Lawaris, that type of movie
But in the
watcher.
last decade,
I'll have to think here.
for me it
Hemant?
would be I saw a Stree, Rajkumar Rao's, which I just enjoy a lot. So I watched that again and again.
I like Dil Chahta Hai, if I can
Of
some
course,
cliche.
but is that last decade?
Well, somewhat. मेरे को अभी
Okay,
यार कौन सोचेगा कि एग्जैक्ट ईयर का.
this is
But
हाँ,
an excellent movie for sure. Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was a little breakout from Hindi cinema a little bit at that time.
absolutely.
Yeah, that comes to mind easily. But now there's so much. My wife makes me watch. I can't remember the name. So much of these what you used to call parallel cinema that is there on Netflix, and I
Hmm.
watched with her. And many of that Loot Case, for example, was not
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
yeah,
pretty good. So yeah, and what I think Hemant is in that middle ground, between the two, where they will
yeah.
hopefully,
I'm thinking. I think all the films by Rajkumar Hirani are,
Yep,
are
yep.
quite
Agreed.
fall in that category, which are
mm,
very, which gave you something new to think about, and which also entertained you like anything. So I think those movies, yeah,
Yep, great.
all right,
Good.
we would have
yeah.
discussed the erotic films, but Hemant will not release his erotic thriller, uh, Jangli Jawani, the ultimate story,
हाँ,
which has been in production for many years.
many years, yeah,
वो complete नहीं करता है because बार you change the cast and all.
yeah, yeah.
Very interesting, sir. Very interesting. Anyway, God bless Hemant. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I
God
hope
bless you,
everything goes
bhai.
well. You rock. And unfortunately, I have to go back to car issues. गाड़ी की problems है. I have to go back and deal with that
हाँ,
right now.
I have to deal with a bicycle. मुझे हवा भरवाने जाना है.
मेरे पास इतना हवा है. Let me take your bicycle. I can give it the हवा.
Okay.
चलो.
ठीक है. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.